What is happening, everybody? Big Jew here. I'm in the Ice Cave, Final Fantasy 1. This is another grinding area that you can go through. A very easy enemy, the Eye. You can just beat him in one hit. And I want to just go into my video here. So, today is election day, alright? So, all the polls are going to be, crowded with people. It's almost like a part of America. It's almost like a slice of Americana in a way. Voting every 4 years, or in any smart voters, or for any smart voter every 2 years, because you have the primaries and all the other elections. And I'm going to say one thing really quickly. I'm not going to vote. I have never been interested in voting. I think it is completely irrelevant to what's going on. Okay, it's not like new things pass just because you have a new president. No, new things come to pass because you have a new Senate, because you have a new House of Representatives, and because you have new governors, new mayors of your city, and new lawmakers, new judges in the Supreme Court. All these things are determined in primary elections. So that's the first part of my rant, is if you're going to vote in a general election and just vote for the president, what are you really voting for? Like, imagine if you were not educated at all in your vote, and you just say, I want to vote for, let's pick on Obama. I don't know why. Let's just do it. Let's say you go into the ballot today, or into the ballot. No, you don't go into the ballot. You go into the. I lost my train of thought. Yes, I did. Crap. Anyways, you go into the polls. You go into the polls today, and you say, okay, I'm going to vote. They give you like a list. They give you like a list of stuff to vote for, like amendments to certain things that if you're not educated on them, you wouldn't know what the hell it does. So they'll just give you like a statement. They'll be like, amendment number 57. This, if you vote yes on this amendment, it will raise, it will raise power costs and make your electric bill cost more, or something like that. And you get to vote either yes or no on that, depending on what you believe in. You know what I mean? Like, if you think good, because if the price of electric goes up, that means people who work for the electric company will get paid more, or something like that. If you know that kind of inside information, then you'll be like, okay, I'll vote yes on this amendment. But if you're like, no, I don't want my power bill to go up, then you'll vote no. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So let's say you're completely uninformed and you just want to vote for the president, which you can do. You can pretty much, I think you can decline the vote for everything except president. I think I've even had friends in high school do that, which is, in my opinion, kind of scary and disturbing, to say the least. But yeah. So you're going to be uninformed, you're just going to vote for the president because your friends say that he's going to change stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to vote for Obama because his ad said change and hope, and I believe in change and hope, so I'm going to vote for Obama. Okay? But what are you really voting for? Keep in mind, anyone who's taken an entry-level political science class or even a civics class knows this, is that the President of the United States is pretty much, for the last, we'll say, I want to say 70 years. My history's kind of fuzzy on this. If I had more time to actually script this video out and do my research, I would actually have a much better presentation, but I'm just doing a rant here, so I don't care. Um, Pretty much since we'll say FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Ever since Roosevelt, the president has pretty much been a spokesman, okay, or a spokesperson, because there's of course could be female presidents one of these days. Who knows? That'd be awesome. Trust me, that'd be really cool. I would love to see a female president one of these days, but I don't really care because the president for the last 70 or so years has been a spokesperson. All the president has done has just done a whole bunch of lobbying and talking and very, very little doing. Why? Because we have a system of checks and balances and we're not a dictatorship, which means there's stuff at the state level that still has to be approved of before it could ever even be released on a national level. The Stop Online Privacy Act is a very good example of this. What happened with the Stop Online Privacy Act? Well, it appeared in Congress after being voted for and pushed into Congress, I think in the summer or fall of 2011. Darkside Phil did a video about it. I'm going to post it in the video description if I can find it. And pretty much it had to be voted on by every senator, by 2/3 of every senator and every House representative. Okay? And then it goes to the president, and then if the president says no, of course he'd have advice from his cabinet, which would take months upon months to get, because cabinet would have to get intelligence. They would have to do surveys. They would have to mail out surveys to people saying, "Hey, do you agree with the Stop Online Privacy Act? Yes or no?" And they would have to collect all that information. They would need researchers to shape and mold the information into something neat and ready for consumption or for lack of a better word, consumption by the White House. And then finally the White House would be able to be like, okay, let's make this into a bill, not a law. And then of course, then when it becomes a bill, then it would have to go all the way back into Senate and so on and so forth. This is the system of checks and balances I'm talking about. So if you go into the polls and on today on election day and you just vote for the president, like I said, like I keep asking, what the hell are you voting for? You're voting for a spokesperson. You're not voting for anybody else. You're not voting for somebody who's going to change what's happening in your local neighborhood, in your local city, or your county, or your state. You're voting for a spokesperson for your nation. There is a difference between voting for a spokesperson for your nation and voting for local leaders who can actually get shit done. Thus concludes my argument on why voting in the primaries, if you're actually going to be an informed voter who cares about stuff. By the way, I do not, because I know that change is extremely slow, and trust me, one voice does not do anything justice, so why should I care? So if you're going to be an informed voter, 1, get information on whatever issues and figures that you're interested in. 2, know when to vote. If you're going to vote for an issue like, we'll say contraceptives. What I mean by contraceptives, I mean like anti-pregnancy stuff. You may want to vote in the primaries, not the general. The general election can only do so much. Why the hell can't I run from these guys? So keep that in mind. So, yeah. Pretty much if you're going to vote in this general election, you're probably, if you're just voting for the president, or you're just voting just because, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it because you want to satisfy your social conditioning. What do I mean by social conditioning? Well, 12 years ago, during the 2000 election, I have a couple minutes here, but whatever, I'll just go over, big damn deal. Sean Combs, otherwise known as P. Diddy or Puff Daddy, or the guy who killed my red mage, created a campaign called Vote or Die. Imagine that. Vote or die. This is what I mean by social conditioning affecting our voters, okay? Because in his little Vote or Die campaign, pretty much Combs was saying, hey look, if you don't vote, then you fail at life. So peer pressure now is involved in voting. And it's funny because when I said, and I remember when I was in 12th grade, and it was my first year to vote, and I remember people asking me, are you gonna vote? Are you gonna vote? You better vote, because if you don't, then you're not a good person. And yes, exactly. I remember. Yes, that was their exact words. If you do not vote, that means you are not a good person. And let me tell you, I fed off the hate that I got from people when I said, no, I'm not going to vote. Voting is dumb, it's stupid, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. It's much better to have a bloody revolution than to vote for stuff and wait barely 4 years to see a change in something, okay? And by the way, these little resistance people, these little revolution guys who say, yeah man, our rights are at stake, so now we have to vote and make our voice heard, man. Our rights are not at stake, okay? Our constitutional rights will never be at stake because that shit was written in stone. Pretty much whenever any politician is sworn into office, they swear by the Constitution. They need to interpret it. This has been going on for 200 some odd years. 250 to be exact. Okay? It's not going to end anytime soon. It can't end. It's tradition. Unless we get some crazy dictator who wants to overthrow the entire White House, and trust me, that's been attempted about 11 years ago, and yeah, it didn't happen. Okay, it just didn't, because there was no one to overthrow it. It was just an attack. All right. So voting to me has become less of a function of people standing up and making a change, and more a function of, at least for younger people, it's become less of a function of standing up and actually getting out there and getting information on your local senator or anything like that. And it's become more of a function of peer pressure. You know, the whole vote or die. Are you kidding me? Vote or die? Are you joking? Are you fucking kidding me? It's just insane. I can't think of anything so immature and so middle school that, oh, if you don't vote, you're not a good person. Are you kidding me? If you don't vote, you're not a good American. I've even heard that being said to me. I think in 2008. No, in 2004. Yeah, in 2004. People said to me, I said I'm not going to vote. I actually remember, because I was going to school at U Florida, and they had a free speech area, and so and it was during the election day, and I remember just walking around saying, do not vote, do not waste your time, voting is bad, doing nothing is good, you know what I mean? And I got a lot of heat for that, and people were saying, yeah, you're a bad American, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm not bad American, I'm just badass. So yeah, a little charming, cute little memory there to end this video. Look, here's the thing about voting. If you want to vote, do it because you want either your life to be better or someone else's life to be better. Know what the hell you're voting for, or else don't fucking vote. That's all I have to say about that, and I'm turning off this video because I'm sick of fighting enemies right now. Alright, I'm out. Peace.